Hey Crafty Peeps! Today's video is part 2 in my winter DIY videos. Here you're seeing the projects from part 1, so if you would like to see these, I will link them at the end of the video. Alright, let's get into today's projects. I'm using this Let It Snow wood sign from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to paint it with this blue paint. And there you go, you see that? And then of course I just painted the snowflake white. I'm just going to dip my brush into my white chalk paint here, and I'm just going to tap it so that I get, like a little bit of a snow flurry effect. So of course, when I start filming this voiceover, my dog decides to start playing with her new toy. So anyhow, I hope that you guys had a really good Christmas. I did. Of course, my dog did apparently because she loves her new toy. All right, so again, I'm just putting some snow flurries here. And I'm going to use this little sign here, also from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cover it in white chalk paint. Again, the same one I just used. I'm going to go ahead and get this all measured up on here on this little sign, and I will glue it down. So basically what I'm making here is a lit up sign, and I absolutely love how this one turned out. So again, I'm just going to glue it, and if you want to make sure that it's really good and adhered, I'd put some little bit of E6000 or super glue on it as well. But so far so good, this is sticking really well. And I was a little bit bummed that I didn't have the LED lights that have a white string. So if you can find those, that would be better. I do believe I picked these little lights up at Rite Aid. Dollar Tree does carry something similar. I don't think the strand is as long. But anyhow, so what I'm going to do here is I'm hiding all of the wire behind the lettering. And then I'm taking the little bit of the bulb, and then that's what you're going to see past the wood. Hope that makes sense. And I did use hot glue. I've actually thought hot glue might not be a good idea, but I've seen a lot of DIYers use hot glue, and so I thought, you know what, I think that's going to be my best bet. Otherwise you could use like a lot of tape to tape it down maybe. That would be another option if you're worried about the hot glue, but it's working just fine. So I'm guessing the hot glue didn't hurt it at all because it is just the plastic part that I'm hot gluing down. But as you can see, I'm just hiding all the little wires here, and you'll see that just the little light bulb is what peeks out from behind. I'm going to go ahead and do that all the way around, and then this project's complete. That little sign, the base sign there, is absolutely perfect. You could see the little battery pack fits there perfectly. I love picking up clearance signs. This one's from Hobby Lobby, and as you can see, it was 90% off, and it was only $1.19, so great find. I went ahead and just covered that inside there, the blue, which is the same color I used on the Let It Snow sign. So again, just painted over what was already there. I went on my Cricut and I typed out "Snowflakes are kisses from heaven," and I used the font Annie Lou, and it's L-E-W, but I will mark that down below. I do believe that just came in the Cricut fonts. I don't think that's when I downloaded. Again, just putting this right down. Okay, and then lastly, I'm going to use this big snowflake. I don't remember where I got it. It's been in my stash for at least 2 years. I think it's from Dollar Tree. If it's not, then it's probably from the 99-cent store, but I'm pretty sure that Dollar Tree has something similar. So I am going to, you could actually leave it like this and just have the snowflake coming off the side, and that's actually really cute too. But I'm going to go ahead and just mark it where I want to cut it, and I'm going to cut the snowflake down and just put partially that inside the sign, and that's it. I used my tin snips because this one was really thick and scissors weren't cutting it. And so that's it. I just hot glue this down and this sign's done. I think it looks really high end. I actually saw a similar sign at Hobby Lobby, so I think this one turned out great. I really enjoyed making over the snowman wreath forms from Dollar Tree. Now you see I started and I actually didn't really have a rhythm until right now that I'm showing you. So I thought I would start here. So I'm taking this, oh goodness, mesh that I also got from Dollar Tree. And what I'm doing is I'm pulling it up through the center, okay, because you see it's just two wires. So that's something new for me working with. So I just pull it up a little bit and give it a little poof. And then I'm going to take my roll and I'm going to wind it all the way around. Okay, so I'm doing basically like a 360 with it. I'm going all the way around, as you see right here. And then I'm going to go back up again, hold just a little bit through, just enough to make a poof. And then I'm going to go all the way around again. Okay, and then as I'm moving along, I'm going to just kind of keep pushing it towards the right, just so I've got, you know, making sure I'm covering the whole area. So again, just pull up, make a little poof, and then go all the way around. And I'm just going to continue that around till I get both circles complete. Okay, so on to the hat. I'm going to take a piece of white felt and just cover that top square. Super easy, just cut it a little bit bigger than the frame. Flip it over and glue it down. So my thought process here was I have some really gorgeous white ribbons and I wanted to use those as the hat, but the black of the wreath form showed through. So I figured I'll put a little piece of white felt and that will help the ribbon look nice. And you can get white felt from Dollar Tree. Okay, now that I have that glued on, I grabbed both of these ribbons. They were really neat. One you can see here is kind of like a velvety, I don't know what you would call it, almost like a crocheted pattern. So I really liked that, but I ended up going with the one that kind of looked more like snow. It's just such a gorgeous ribbon. So because it kind of has a see-through nature, I went ahead and wrapped it around twice just to give it a really solid look. If you're using solid ribbon, you wouldn't need to go around twice. You could just go around one time. Turn it over and glue it down. Now, this ribbon is just a really great width that it's going to be great for the brim. Again, I just am going to take it around a couple times till it's solid and then the hat is done and decorated. Okay, I'm going to take this snowy garland wreathy stuff that I got on clearance, I believe from Joann's. I got a really good deal on it. And I'm just going to cut off a couple of the pieces. So you could use like little stems from floral stems. What I know Dollar Tree has something similar. So I'm just cutting off a few of these pieces. And then I'm just going to adhere them down with zip ties. Now, if you were watching my last video, I asked you if you're finding zip ties in your Dollar Tree because mine have been out for months. And so when I was at the 99-cent store the other day, I got a whole like a little tub of them with different sizes. So I was like, okay, that's great, but it was like $5. And then I go into Dollar Tree yesterday and guess what's back in? Zip ties, all the sizes and everything. So they're back in my stores. All right, so anyhow, I'm adding this little snowflake ornament. I do not know where I got it. Again, in my stash, just adding it down to the middle there. And I'm going to take that ribbon again that I used on the hat, and I'm just going to make loops and pinch. So there you see, I just made a loop and a pinch. Now there's a million ways to make this type of bow. Okay, no, there's not a million. There's probably like 3. So I just found this one the easiest. I know sometimes when I do the fold over method, I just can't seem to like fluff it out properly. So I figured I would try this method, and it worked really good for me. Once I have enough loops that I'm happy with, I go ahead again and zip tie this bow together. And then I'm going to cut myself some tails and add those down, and then just tie this ribbon down to my wreath form. After I do that, I just took some silver ribbon from my stash. Again, I buy so much ribbon on clearance after the holidays, and so you guys are seeing this right now after holidays, so make sure you're checking your stores for some clearance items, florals, ribbons. You will thank me next year when you have all these fun finds. Also, follow the freebie guy, okay? So either on Instagram or just go to the internet, and it's thefreebieguy.com. And he's going to tell you when Michael's grab bags come out, because you will majorly score. Okay, so anyhow, I just tied this silver ribbon just in a bow like you tie your shoes. And then I add a little snowy pine cone that I don't know if I got from Dollar Tree or not. I think I did actually. I just add that to the bow, and this is complete, and I'm so in love with this little snowman. If you would like to see another snowman that I made with the same wreath form, I will link it here at the top. Okay, so I'm going to cut out another layered image on my Cricut. Now I want to show you this little tip. So if you don't want to put each color through your Cricut, like you see here, there's 6 mats. If you don't want to do this 6 times, what you can do is you can move the items onto one mat. So here you see I have 3, what would normally be 3 mats is now all on one mat. So then when I put my papers down, you see here I put the 3 different colors in the spots that will cut. So instead of doing 3 mats, I now am only putting 1 mat through and getting 3 of my different colored cuts out. Now this SVG is from Barely Art. It is a free SVG, and I will link it down below, and it's a snowy owl, and it's so cute, so perfect for this decor. Okay, so I've cut all of the pieces out. Now, the original idea behind this is it's a card. So you can see how my light blue one up in the corner is bigger than the others, and that's because it's supposed to be a card. Now, I made it bigger, and this is going to go into a frame. So I will end up cutting that blue down. Also taking my Barely Art glue here with its really fine tip, I'm going to go around all these little small areas, as you can see here, and glue it down. Now a lot of times with these I like to pop them up and make them 3D, but this one was too intricate and that wasn't going to happen. So I just glue them all down on top of each other. Of course, my camera just stopped, so you won't see me glue down each of these layers, but for the most part, you will. And again, so the dark blue there is my bottom layer. The one I'm doing right now will go on top of that. And then the light blue will go on top of the navy blue that I'm putting glue on right now. And then what you don't see me do is glue the owls together. But I think you can see it's just layering the white on the gray and the gray on the blue, and that's it. So you didn't really miss a whole lot. And so here's that part where I'm cutting down the top layer there because, you know, I'm not making a card. Again, this Barely Art glue is amazing. I don't know why it took me so long to buy it. I want to say it's $10. And when you're, you know, squirting out such a small amount of glue, it lasts a really long time, and then it just has this very tiny place to pour it out. Okay, so there is my owl. Now he's going to go on top, and then add his little scarf. And that's it. So I glue those down. Then I simply just put it in a frame. I could have painted the frame, but I just left it like that. And look at how cute this little art piece is. I bought a case of these little gnomes back in the spring. They were blue, green, and pink, and they've come in handy. I've been able to kind of decorate them for each holiday. So I'm just taking a silver Sharpie here, and I'm just going to kind of draw some freehand snowflakes. Now, this silver pen is like a really thick tip, so I couldn't get them very precise. So if you have like a skinnier pen, it's going to be a lot easier. But I'm just making X's, and as you can see here, just lines. I didn't do anything fancy, but I'm just going to do it around the front part of his little hat there, and I can just put him in my decor, and he's just a little snowy gnome. This hardly feels like a DIY, but when I saw this wall piece there from Dollar Tree, I thought it looked so snowy and wintry. This is a old clock kit. I stole the clock part out of it for another project, so it's just kind of been sitting there waiting for something, and this was the perfect thing. I literally am just putting the sticker down, and that's it. And it makes just a beautiful winter accent. I feel like this is something I would actually buy in a store for like $10. It looks really high end. That sticker is amazing from Dollar Tree. And they have them in all sorts of different colors and designs, but doesn't that kind of look like a snowflake? So there with my gnome, look at how wintry that looks, and these cost $1. Okay, so when I made my snowman wreath, I used 3, which I did forget to say, I used 3 tubes of the mesh, okay? So I was left with these 3 tubes left, and I thought, I gotta do something with these tubes, and I thought, I'm gonna make some snowy wood pieces. Now, I thought, am I going to make it snowy wood, or am I going to try to make it birch wood? I just decided to make it look like a snowy log. So I'm just taking the lightweight spackle from Dollar Tree with a little bit of water, and I'm just rubbing it all the way around. Nothing fancy, just rubbing it all the way around with my fingers. And I do this on all 3 of the little cardboard cutouts. Then with just regular old cardboard scraps, I cut out circles and I painted them with this cashew from Waverly. I didn't realize that it wasn't chalk paint. It's actually like high gloss paint, which is, I would have rather it been like a matte or chalk, so I recommend that's what you do. And then I'm just taking my brown paint marker here and just making like the wood circles that you would see on the ends of the wood. And then I'll just glue those to the top and bottom of those logs. I really like these. These are new markers I got. I'm going to link them below, but they're fine tip paint markers. So it's really nice when you have, little spaces or you just want to write and you don't want that big paint tip. Again, you see I'm just hot gluing these little rounds to the ends of my logs, and it just made a cute little accent. I really like having accent pieces. You don't want just a bunch of signs and stuff. It's nice to have small little pieces that can just accent your decor. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had so much fun making all these winter DIYs. This is a part 2 in my winter series, so if you missed it, go ahead and check out part 1. All right, until next time, happy crafting.